My wife began working with a man whom I will describe as a prominent figure in her industry about a year ago. I could tell she was a little dazzled by his high profile, but I never imagined she would cheat with anyone, let alone a 70-year-old man. Finding out through her friend's suspicions and proof on her phone was the most surreal and worst moment of my life. It went on for about 3 months and I never even noticed anything. We have been together for 14 years, married for 7, and have been happy for the most part. She was very remorseful and claimed to have been caught up with the attention of someone she admired. Apparently, he does this with women in his professional orbit fairly often. She made a lot of promises, but I knew from the beginning that reconciliation would not be an option. We don't have kids, so that's at least one nightmare avoided. She agreed to move out if she got to keep her dog, which hurts, but I had to admit he would miss her more. The divorce is still in process, but it shouldn't be too tumultuous. We have very limited contact. She claims to be heartbroken but isn't pushing anything. I have supportive friends and family, though I haven't given them the details. The dust is settling, but I can barely function. I spend at least half the day in a rage. I feel so humiliated and disgusted, not just that she had an affair, but that her partner is like twice her age. It's so bizarre and makes me feel so worthless that she wanted him more than me. I can't stand the idea that nothing in his life has changed and I can't do anything about it. I'm planning on getting therapy. I want to say something about exposing this person or affair because I've had a lot of advice on it elsewhere. All I have are screenshots of a text conversation between my wife and this person who was stored in her phone under a pseudonym and her verbally admitting it was him. There is no real evidence and no chance of corroboration from my ex or the person who advised me to look for evidence. This man is very wealthy and highly esteemed. Going after him with virtually nothing and no one to back me up would almost certainly mess up my life more than his. He is not my wife's boss, nor is he a member of her company. He sometimes works in conjunction with her company, so other than a scandal, I don't know if anyone could get in any trouble anyway. I'm trying to focus on me. Talking about this with people on here the past couple of days has helped. I even made plans tonight. But then I got the dreaded Facebook message from the ex. She's now claiming she lied to her fair partner that we were in an open marriage, so even when she's supposedly pouring her heart out, it's to protect him. I stopped reading. I feel like canceling my plans, but I'm going to at least go through the motions, I guess. I'm wondering if contact with the ex is in your best interest, OP. Sometimes people need a clean break. I feel like maybe remaining in contact might mean we're choosing to stay in the past and not move forward. Update. People have been warning me, and I guess it's true. Situation is in my post history. My ex left quietly when asked and has been amicable during the divorce process. I cut off contact except through lawyers. I've had a lot of people here and in real life warn me that she would try and get me back. It didn't seem like the case, but lo and behold, I get the letter in the mail today. How sorry she is, what a stupid mistake she made, begging to come home, she'll do anything. Of course, that's the case now. Told her family what happened and she got kicked out of her sister's house. I've heard it's over with the affair partner. She took a leave from her fancy job that she fought so hard for. She's crawling back because she has nothing without me now. I almost feel bad for her. I feel such deep sadness for what we lost over this, but good old reliable anger and disgust are keeping me from ever responding. I'm very casually seeing someone, looking into moving closer to family when this is all over. Finally made a therapy appointment. It's still hard every day, but I will never take her back. Next story. Man's wife accidentally texts him instead of her affair partner. This was posted 10 years ago, but the op has since deleted the account. Another time capsule of Reddit a decade ago. Apparently, I missed my wife's lover by only a few minutes. I found out when she texted me accidentally instead of him. When did you know for sure it was over? I went on a business trip this weekend and got home at 6:25 a.m. I didn't want to wake her or the kids, so I sat quietly in the living room watching TV. A few minutes later, I get a text from her. Thanks for staying over, babe, I love sleeping next to you. Obviously, I wasn't here last night. I'm still on the couch and haven't responded. I think she went back to sleep and has no idea she accidentally texted me. Monday, July 30th, 2012. I had to go to work before confronting her. I think it was better anyway since it gave me time to think about what to say instead of rushing to anger. I asked my assistant to go to the 7-Eleven next door and see if they have Shinerbach. If they don't, I'll ask him to go as far as Publix for science, edit. We didn't find any. She finally texted me at work and said that her girlfriend stayed over. I didn't respond. 3 p.m. Eastern Update, Tuesday, July 31st, 2012. I left work last night and went to dinner with one of my work partners. I didn't say a word to my wife. When I came to bed in the morning, I mentioned the text. After I woke up, I told her I was surprised she would use that language with a girlfriend. She broke down and admitted that she had a platonic girlfriend and a not-so-platonic ex-boyfriend over while I was away. She admitted it wasn't the first time. I calmly told her I would have to think about how I feel about the situation and let her know whether we should separate. Thanks Reddit. You prepared me for the worst way in advance. It's nice to get the hive mind's opinion sometimes before jumping into a rash and complicated situation or acting brash and angry as a reaction. I really appreciate everyone's comments and help figuring out the next steps. Here are some relevant comments. I thought it could be innocent, but I've only heard her call one other person babe me. I also considered that she wants me to know and her subconscious sabotaged her. There are a lot of suggestions on the original post as to what he should do. Update post, August 3, 2012 title. Well, guys, I'm a big dumb idiot. She knew I was home and just wanted me to come up. When have any of you misread a text message and almost ruined everything? Or at least, I really wish that's how it happened. It didn't. Turns out I was right when I posted this thread. I missed her longtime lover by just under 15 minutes. Kudos to a specific Redditor for suggesting this clever title in the original thread. Before I moved out, I consulted 2 lawyers and an old fraternity buddy who is a lawyer in my state and also works at the state attorney's office. They all said that moving out wouldn't hurt my case. Pulling all of my finances away from the family would be considered abandonment. Leaving an unsafe situation for the good of you or your children isn't abandonment, right? I'm very sorry to abandon Reddit without an update to this thread since Tuesday. The hazy fog of disbelief has clouded my world. Everything happy has disappeared. The quiet nuclear family life, 2 kids, a dog, a 4-bedroom home in the suburbs. Since Tuesday morning, I have learned that this happened before. She took him to an expensive hotel on the beach near our home to eat at the award-winning restaurant I introduced her to on our anniversary last year. She revealed to me that she is interested in a swinger lifestyle and she's already been to swinger clubs with him and his girlfriend. She wants to keep our marriage together but wants to keep the lover as well. The funny thing is, I'm not a jealous person. Neither am I controlling or demanding or think that I can force someone to love only me. If she hadn't gone secret agent on me and tried to hide it, I would have considered it. I moved out of our home and into my office until I can find a condo or apartment close to our primary home and my daughter's school. I've given my lead engineer all of our bank info so he can run the company in case I get held up with any problems. I wonder how many Redditors were hoping it was just a mistake. Alas, life sometimes has a way of being entirely predictable, as you imagined it would. Another relevant comment. More information about what went down. I wasn't going to move out originally. A lot happened since Tuesday night. During one of our discussions about this lover thing, it turned argumentative then violent. She has a history of violence. Names were called, fists were thrown, and eventually objects were broken. She called the police and claimed she wanted me out. The police sided with me and said there was no evidence that I abused her, so they can't ask me to leave my own home. My daughter watched, unable to go to bed while the police questioned me. I left for a friend's house and got severely drunk on whiskey. The next morning, I returned home and demanded that she leave. She left for about 20 hours while I took care of the kids. She came back at night and locked herself in the bedroom, texting me that the kids needed her and she couldn't abandon them. I told her there was no way to live with violence and one of us had to leave. Sadly, I had to be that person. I have been going to the house every morning to wake up with them and at night to put them to bed, the kids, that is. I will rent a new place that can hold all of us and move there in the next few weeks. Then she can move wherever she can afford on her own. People in the comments criticized me for leaving, but most agreed I did the right thing. Thank you. It's not like it was an easy decision to make and I pray it doesn't bite me in the butt later. But you know what would be worse? Staying, getting in another fight, having the police come again, and having not so understanding police officers again. You know what would be worse than losing my house in the divorce? Going to jail because the police believed her story, screwing up my life, my company, my future, the future of my kids, and their family income, the money they need to eat, etc. Staying would be so much worse. the rest of it I can deal with. I'm not an absentee father, and she'd have to make up evidence in court as she wanted to somehow prove that I was whether or not I am sleeping in the marital home. Final update post August 15, 2012. This is an update to the story where I caught my wife cheating in a text message. When I confronted her, she admitted to having multiple affairs and a secret swinger lifestyle. Thank you to those following my cuckold non-fiction story. Sadly, this is true for men's rights. I feel like I should keep a log to help other men when they find themselves in the same situation. 1,000 other people are facing the same situation I am today, and right now, I could spend another night in the bed she had other people in. I'm not prude, but the lying, cheating, and stealing killed our marriage faster than a cancer eating away at your insides, and it hurt just as bad. I left my career as a successful engineer. I put the company in the hands of my highest executive and told him I might not be back. I still offered to fly in to close any big sales. The season of my life is over, and it's time for some life-altering changes. I have $100,000 in open personal credit, $50,000 in open company credit, a paid-off car, a Lexus is, thanks for asking, enough savings, and residual income to not work for 6 months. I have 2 kids who depend on me in every way financially and stability-wise. I've already done the typical bachelor stuff you forget about when you're married. Upgraded to an iPhone, purchased new wheels and speakers for my mid-level luxury sports car, upgraded my battle station, and took a vacation to Disneyland. My wife cheated on me. In December, I walked in on them at his house. As I knew what was going on, it was my stepdaughter's father. I have been kicking him off our property for years and keeping his anger in check. I spent all day taking care of the house, the pets, the yard, and her daughter for a female. When we got married, she had me donate my beater so I could drive one of her cars. I even did a little part-time work on the side at the law firm where she works. My days began at 6 a.m. and ended as late as 2 a.m. some nights because of all the chores I was responsible for. I tried to forgive her but continued catching her talking to him and even making plans to sleep with other male friends. All the while, she assured me she wanted us to work. She abused me sexually and emotionally, telling me that cheating was my fault because I should have done something to stop it. She used guilt and threats to make me have sex with her when I was clear I wasn't ready for that. She got pregnant after I caught her with him, and I asked her for a DNA test. Instead, she went out and got an abortion immediately and blamed me for that too. I decided to leave last month and quit my job. Since then, my family has been supporting me, and I struggle every day to get out of bed and even just feed myself. We were married less than a year. I'm getting no spousal support, no car, had to leave my job, lost half of my family, her family, my stepdaughter. I have no home and was left with no money. If it wasn't for my family helping me, I would be completely homeless. My mental health is in a bad place as I have found out the cheating was happening even when we were just dating. It was all fake for some kind of game for her, and I'm left to pick up the pieces. I was cheated on and abused, and I am the only one being punished. I'm told there's little I can do by my lawyer whom I trust a great deal, he is a trusted family friend. What do I do with all this emotion? How do I fix myself? I know I need to take baby steps, get another job, etc., but leaving the house feels like an insurmountable task right now. I'm struggling with severe depression and anxiety. In public, even being with my friends is extremely taxing and leaves me a sobbing mess when I finally can drive home. I feel broken, and nothing is getting better, and I don't know what to do. I was happy living in a little apartment I loved. I spent my days cooking new meals for friends, making crafts, or out hiking, biking, and kayaking all over my home state. I used to like to rock climb and sit in high trees or rocks to admire the landscape here in the Midwest. I saved my money and traveled to Scotland and Germany with dreams of going to see Siberia someday. The other day, a good friend and I set out on a flooded quarry in kayaks, ate wild grapes that were growing on the shoreline, talked about apes, and reminisced for hours. It was the happiest I've been in a long time, but I still sobbed all the way home that night. I feel like I'm drowning, and that person I used to be is dead, and I'm just faking it. I will see what I can do about therapy once I get a stable job going. I have a notebook going already too. She tried hard to gaslight me once, my friends found out, and I didn't want to forget all the things she had done, so I made a list and a timeline. Update. Ex-wife bringing affair partner to our divorce hearing. The title says it all. A friend informed me that my ex will be bringing the affair partner to the divorce hearing as a final jab at me. How should I deal with this? Several friends have offered to come and support, but some have said I should just do my best to ignore them. What would you do? In case you think cheaters can be changed. My ex-wife has cheated on everyone she has dated since high school. It came out during couples therapy by her own admission. She had cheated on a previous boyfriend with me and I had no idea. Seems to be her mo, and the affair partner was physically abusive to her a few years before we got together, but I'm sure they'll be very happy this time. Update. The divorce hearing today went great and I'm feeling great. My divorce hearing was finally today. My post history contains my full story, but I was abused by my ex-wife after catching her in our bed with another man days after Christmas last year. I tried reconciliation, but as time went on, I kept catching her talking to the same guy and even planning to go see others out of town while getting inappropriate sexual Snapchats and texts from them. All the while, she lied to my face and told me she had to cut contact every single time, same story. I finally told her I was leaving and would be filing for divorce, and she told me again that if I left, she would kill me. Here we are though, I'm alive and she is permanently out of my life. I came home from the courthouse and hit a few new maxes in the gym and I'm all around feeling great. She doesn't know where I live, I moved out of town, and she doesn't know where my new job is. This woman who I love dearly and would have done anything for took everything from me, my job, my car, my home, my stepdaughter, my marriage, my mental health, and potentially my baby. Even though I am confident it was the affair partner's baby, she aborted it when I asked for a DNA test. This entire year has been an unending hell for me, and all the while, she blamed me for leaving and tearing apart our family. By the time she arrived this morning, I was already speaking to my lawyer. We just had to be present and get the papers signed by the judge. I never looked at her once, not even when she tried to hand me mail from the house. I just grabbed it and kept walking. I did notice that affair partner didn't come with her, odd, since she had been saying to mutual friends he would be coming with. Everything proceeded fine, I was stressed and emotional on the inside, but I kept a gentle smile on my face and kept my spirits high. She was sounding like she was about to cry, but I never looked. It wasn't until I got home that I noticed a note mixed in with my mail. Affair partner wasn't there because he got some other girl he was seeing pregnant. I tore it up and threw it away. She had a loving husband and she cheated, lied, and hurt me until I left her, and she did it for a loser that was seeing other girls anyway. The cherry on top is that this guy hates being a father. He's lazy, beat my ex-wife when they were together, and drops his daughter off with his mother anytime he has her. She called him by his first name and called me dad because she barely knew the guy. His own mother cried on Christmas while we shared a drink because she was so happy her granddaughter had me in her life. This new baby will destroy his life even further. My only hope is that whomever he is having this baby with gets away from him ASAP for the baby's sake. Despite how high energy I am, I feel very alone today, and I'm bouncing between very happy and very muted. Sorry if this is all over the place. I'm just feeling very strange. I thought it would feel better, but if I'm being honest, I wish none of us were suffering. Next story. Hi everyone, I'm new here and just looking for some support, I guess. I'm not sure what I'm looking for, to be honest. Here's my story in short. I met my wife, 39F, when we were both 17, and we had a childhood romance. We got married at 28, bought a house, had our first child at 29, and our second at 31. We had a great relationship with a great sex life, and we had no problems until we were 37. However, over time, my wife became different, and although the physical side of our relationship was still there, she started doing things without me. This went on for a year, and my family kept insisting that she had changed a lot and that she might be having an affair, but I was 100% certain that it was not possible. I even asked her about it and she laughed it off with me. Eventually, the little things built up on me and I hacked into her Google account even though I knew she couldn't be having an affair. However, what I found shattered my world. She had been having an affair with a colleague for 2 years and they had recently split up because she had cheated on him with someone else she had met. I confronted her on the day I found out and reacted very badly. I got her parents to pick up the kids, tore up our wedding album, and scattered it across our kitchen, then waited for her to come home. She broke down, cried, and ultimately blamed me. I left and didn't return home for 2 weeks. I feel a lot of shame for my behavior, as I should have been there for the kids, but I heavily turned to alcohol. When I went back, I found out she was still texting the new guy she had met. I begged her to stop and give our marriage a chance, which was the lowest point of my life. She left for a week and stayed with a close friend of both of us, then came home and had blocked the guy she was talking to. I told her then that I needed full disclosure, and she said she had been in such a haze for a long time that she knew there were other drunken flings but couldn't say who when, which was infuriating. She went to the doctor and was diagnosed with depression and medicated for it. Since then, she has been more like her old self, but I have really struggled with forgiveness, so I moved out of the family home into my own place, still paying the mortgage. My end goal is to reconcile with her because she's the love of my life, but I don't know if I'm being a complete fool. If you are still here, you are the one I'm doing content for. Subscribe my channel and drop a like to support me. Ciao.